guys, welcome to Better Bachelor. My name is Joker with a face for radio and a voice for print. I once said that women, the way that they are accountable for their actions is non-existent. But when women talk about why and how they go out and they can't help but sleep and fool around with these very attractive men, even though that they know there's no long-term relationship even possible in the thing, they often turn around and blame society, men, patriarchy, all the other reasons for their bad actions. Well, we got another woman that's kind of saying the same thing. If you put your money in a bank and somebody comes up and they rob it, or they con you out of it, or they lie to you, and they're able to get the money, well, then that's kind of not good, right? That's on the guy robbing the bank. But if you threw the doors open to the bank and said, anybody come in and take as much money as you want to, and then guys show up and take the money and then leave without bringing the money back, well, do you blame the guy that comes in and takes the free money, or do you blame the bank for throwing the doors wide open? That's kind of how it is with these women and their accountability, is they say, well, we can't help ourselves. We can't help but sleep with all these attractive men and be easy. And it's not our fault. It's the guys for taking advantage of our offer, basically. Before we jump right into the main story here, I got a little update. If you guys watched my last video that I did, I had an intro where I was showing the door blown out of this Alaskan airline airplane, and come to find out, because they're saying, oh, women crew and women pilots, and we're now becoming more diverse. Well, that can be dangerous. And so I put a little intro in my last video. Well, come to find out, this is one of them, Spirit Airlines. I'm going to mute this because it has Shania Twain music over it. But you can see the women coming in here and strutting their stuff and, come on, girls, and yeah, we're strong and powerful and brave, and we're the new Spirit Aerosystems Engineering Dream Team. And what do you see? Every single one of them is a woman, and of course they have the diversity quotas in there. So this is the Engineering Dream Team. Now, I don't know about you, but I'd like my engineers to be old men with slide rules that probably went to college in the 50s, right? That's who I'd like to be my engineer, not a bunch of Karens, middle-aged Karens that are strutting their stuff, bragging about how great they're doing when literally airlines and airplanes are falling apart. Same thing here. This is another airline. I don't know which one this one is, but they have all the pronouns, and this is the advertising, and this is what's important to you as a consumer, not safety, not prices. No, we got to have all the pronouns. And this is from Alaska Air. Now, remember, Alaska Airlines is the airliner. And I'm just taking a second because I got to share this stuff because it's ridiculous. And then we'll get on to the main story. But Alaska Airlines is the one it wasn't the window that blew out. It was the whole panel of the airplane that contained the window. And the bolts weren't tightened. And so it blew off and it depressurized. This is what they brag about.
Gay, 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 gay. When I say gay, you say gay, 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 gay. When I say gay, you say gay, 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 gay.
Of course, I can't play it with the cringe music, but I'll mute it here and I'll just keep playing it. But you can say they got all the pride, and they got the fly with pride and rainbow ties and all Pride 2023. And oh, look at that. Doesn't that just make you want to, boy, I'd like to trust my safety to a bunch of people where this is their priority. Southwest Airlines, all-female flight crew, go off, Queens. And then shortly later, this post has been deleted because they got so much pushback. When we move into the future and they start giving out, like in the past, I had no problems having an Indian doctor, a Asian doctor, a black doctor. They'd have to be all male, of course, because why would a guy go see a female doctor? I'd, of course, go see guys. But now now, if you're going to give degrees to basically anybody because of their skin color, I got to say I'm going to kind of avoid the people that I think may not have cut the mustard. Ironically, there might be some, and I'm sure there are, many doctors of many different nationalities that worked really hard and busted their tails to get their degree, and they might have been top of class. But if you're giving them out like Pez, there's no way that really I can know if you were top of class or they gave you something because you identified as LGHD TV or because of the color of your skin. Ironically, I think that's going to make more people avoid the minority doctors. And it's sad, but when you give out degrees and that's the way you go, well, that's the way you go. So what is Hoeflation? Now, this is from the Urban Dictionary, and it's this. I don't think this is where it came from. I think it came from a meme, but this is an accurate description. They say Hoeflation, the concept of men having to work 20 times harder than their grandfathers did for women 20 times worse than what their grandmothers were. Man number one, why don't you get a girlfriend? Man number two, because Hoeflation is insane at the moment. This has been upvoted 941 times and downvoted 16. Another one, the expectation of a male to be at least 6 feet, have body fat under 15%, and make more than six figures. The first observations of this were made in 2013 by Professor Dr. Menz. Hoeflation today is insane, homie. Yeah, these little bees are crazy. Another one that's been upvoted a lot, the perceived value inflation of female, or Hoeflation, in the rating scale. She's a 4, but she acts like an 8. Now, this is happening because social media and, of course, only fools, where even mid to average women get attention out there. Another one that says a term in which it describes the increase in price men have to pay for lower value women. This is reflected through higher prices in terms of having to spend more money on women, having to have a certain personality, physique, etc. Women have lost all their value as they have sex with everyone they can. They can't cook and don't know how to be good wives. And so that was upvoted 1,340 times, downvoted 41. So you can see that this is definitely something that guys agree with, that, you know what, the juice isn't worth the squeeze anymore. But to some guys it is. And if you had $1 for every time I said the top 5% or top 1% or top 10% of men, you'd probably be a very rich person. But those guys can just be. Imagine, I don't know, Henry Cavill on a dating app. He's going to have so much kitties thrown at him that he'll have ultimate choice. And instead of women saying, you know something, I'm just sleeping with these guys, I don't get a relationship, I just have my fun, and then nobody wants me as I get older, like this gal, instead of saying, you know, I should stop doing this, they can't help themselves. They're like a fat kid in a candy store. They can't help themselves. So what are they going to do? They're going to turn around and blame men for their bad decisions. Let's hear what Miss Thing here has to say.
Every single guy who openly advocates for male promiscuity, who proudly boasts of his own promiscuity, every single one of those guys gladly will tell you that promiscuity in a woman is undesirable, that it makes her ran through and not wife material. And yet every single one of those guys happily and knowingly continues to run through other men's wives. That is abhorrent. Now she's saying other men's wives. I wonder if her husband slept with another woman at one point in her life. She seems a little bitter and angry. Okay, so let's put it this way. If a man is giving away free money and other people take that money, is that bad? Is that the fault of the people taking the money because people want money and somebody was giving it away for free and they were offered the money and they took the money? So I don't see that's really the fault of the person taking the money. Same thing, ladies. If women want to give it away and they're excited to give it away and they beg the guy to take it and the guy takes it and then he decides not to have a relationship with her, is it really the fault of the guy? Now, if he lied and he manipulated her, yes, that would be the analogy of the bank robber robbing the bank. She's trying to keep everything secure and he finagles his way in and cons her and tricks her, and that's bad. But we've seen the videos. We've seen these women falling all over themselves to make themselves available for these men,
They know, and you guys have seen it in the videos I've done, they know it's not going to turn into long term. They know he's married. They know he's unavailable. And they still say, I'm going to do it anyway. So do you put it on the... Now, I don't think a man should sleep with a married woman, and nor do I think... I don't think a married man should sleep with a woman, nor do I think a single man should sleep with a married woman. I just, if you're married, get divorced and do all that stuff. But do you blame... See, if my best friend, if I had a girlfriend and my best friend had never met her and didn't know her, and I walk into a pub one night and find out that they've been hooking up for a couple of weeks and he took her out for drinks, and I come over and say, dude, that's my girlfriend. We've been together for 2 years. Am I mad at him? No, he didn't know. He didn't know we were dating. And now, if he did know, yeah, that's on him. But if he didn't know, well, it's the same thing. If a woman goes out and sneaks behind a dude's back and the other guy doesn't know, you always see the guy getting all angry at this other dude. But really, the only person he should be mad with is the girl that is his wife or his girlfriend, because she definitely knew they were in a relationship. A lot of times these women lie and say, that they're not. So she's going to put it 100% on men, not saying that it's anything against the woman to make this choice.
Let me be very clear. Women are not children, they're adults, and they're absolutely responsible for their own actions.
But
they're used...
Oh, there's the but. Of course there is. So if they're not children and they're responsible for their own actions, we're done. We're done. Unless you're saying they're stupid, or they're manipulated, or they're easily fooled, or they can't control their own emotions and their own libido.
For their own actions. But there used to be a time where good men looked out for women and protected them because they're more vulnerable. When good men didn't take up every woman simply because she had herself on offer. When good men did not walk through every single open door just because it was open and a little bit alluring. And by the way, good men do that still.
Okay. So if the good men are doing it, then what you're talking about is bad men. Those bad guys, they're going to do what's selfish, and they're going to do what's fun, and they're going to do what they feel like. And you know who empowers that? The women that let them do that. The women that invite them to do that. You guys have seen tons of videos that I've done where there's a matter of fact, I just did one 3 or 4 days ago. Maybe it's 5 or 6 now, where a woman talks about all her mistakes in her dating over the course of the last year. She dated the bad boys. She slept with the bad boys. She did all these things. And the one guy that treated her well, that she would have, I think, met her mother, and her mother really liked him, that treated her like she was important and special, she dumped. All the rest of them she kept around until they dumped her. She dumped the bad boy and she dumped the good boy and kept the bad boys. So, okay, if the good guys are not involved in this, and she says there are good guys out there, then it's the bad guys. Then it's kind of like you're expecting the bad guys to play by the rules, but they don't, because they're bad guys. And do you know who made those bad guys? Do you know who empowered those bad guys to go out and have their fun and do their thing and not wife up and not have a serious relationship and not be committed to one woman? Do you know who did that? You ladies did. You did it by giving him all the free punani that he wants. And he can go from woman to woman and get all the fun that he wants without ever having to sacrifice himself to a relationship. That's because of women giving it away for cheap or free. Then you turn around and you say, well, yeah, but we want men to be traditional and stand up and do the right thing. And do women do the right thing? Do women stand up for men today? Do women want good men? Or do they scream patriarchy and toxic men every time they're at a slight disadvantage? And even when they have the disadvantage, and statistically they know they have the advantage, they still say, well, now we need to make up for lost ground for all the centuries that men had their way. See, there's never enough. There's always something to where they must have more. They always have to have more. So ironically, there were a lot of good men around. And what turned those good men to bad men was women. They've done it to themselves.
If you understand that promiscuity lowers a woman's value, not in God's eyes, but in society's eyes, in the dating market, etc., if you yourself admit you wouldn't want a promiscuous woman as your wife, yet you continue to sleep around indiscriminately, you, my friend, are part of the problem.
I disagree. If you go to Female Dating Strategy or some of these other websites that women are talking about, here's some ideas for dating, they openly admit to sleeping around with 2 or 3 or 4 guys, and then the one guy that they'd like to have a long-term meaningful relationship, maybe make a long-term boyfriend out of, and have him probably be a husband at later date, they make him wait. Now, why do they do that? Why do they make the guy they really like wait, but just have sex with, situationships? Well, because they know that by making a guy wait, that's valuable because it shows value to him. Even if it's a fake value, even if she has no value, she knows she can trick him by making him wait. So let's listen to this part again. I want you, because this is kind of important here.
Value, not in God's eyes, but in society's eyes, in the dating market, etc. If you yourself admit you wouldn't want a promiscuous woman as your wife, yet you continue to sleep around indiscriminately, you, my friend, are part of the problem.
The men she's talking about are not men that want wives. So, again, see, women can't help themselves. They must lump all men together. Sometimes this is why I think women have minds like a goldfish, because they must lump all men together. There are men that are good men that don't have the opportunity to sleep with women, would love a long-term relationship, would treat a woman very well. What happened to him? He got dumped because he was a nice guy. Or she found, a hot guy down at the gym that she really wanted to sleep with, and he was a bad boy and more exciting. Well, that good guy, he's the one that would make the husband. He's the one that doesn't sleep around. He's the one that wants to maybe find a good woman. Who's she talking about? She's talking about players. She's talking about guys that are top 5 or 10%. They know it. They get to sleep with people and have their fun, and they don't have to turn into a husband. They don't have to respect a woman. They don't need to, because if a woman demands respect, he says, stuff it. I can find another woman because I'm very popular and I'm good looking and I'm outgoing. That's the guy she's actually talking about. And maybe this guy did it to her. Maybe that she's finding out that she's tried to have a couple of relationships, but she doesn't secure the bedroom or she doesn't secure the relationship before she secures the bedroom, and he ends up bouncing on her. Maybe this is a bitter woman about that. So she starts by saying, we're not children, and we're responsible for our own actions. End of statement. We're done with the conversation. To continue on and say bad men are taking advantage of what's freely being offered to them, and good men are then finding out what the bad men did and are saying, I do not want you because you have a body count of 20, 30, 40, 50, 100. And then the women say, yeah, but you sleep with women. You give them high body counts. And then you turn around and complain about them having a high body count. Most men's answers would be, I'm not the one giving them the high body count. I'm not the one sleeping with all of them. That's some other dude. And then when he will not wife you up and he won't settle down because he's having a great old time with all these other women, then you come to me and say you want to be married and finally give your quote unquote best years to these other guys, then come and hit me up at 30 or 35, with the baggage and all the problems. And then when I say, as a man, when men say, I'm not interested, your body count's too high, you're too old, you got too much baggage. The women say, well, but you men are the ones that do this to us. No, they're two different groups of men in the vast majority of cases. Because Playboy guy, he's gonna end up marrying like a supermodel, like a top 3 or 5% or an Instagram model or something. But he's going to spend a lot of nights and days having fun with what he considers easy fishing. That's what he's going to do. So maybe she was an easy fish to somebody.
You are to Hoeflation what Biden is to economic inflation. Sure, you didn't single-handedly cause the problem, but you sure have helped it along, and people don't really like that. You are knowingly harming women, and your excuse is, oh, but she wanted it too, which means your bar for yourself as a man is so low that as long as you're not committing sexual assault, it's okay. That's not a good man. That's not the best man you can be. Self-control, self-discipline, those are masculine, desirable qualities.
And then she ends it by shaming men. If you don't act the way that I would think you should act, if you don't do what I think you should do, well, you're not masculine. You're not a man. Well, here's the truth. There's a whole lot of men out there that are completely invisible to her. She doesn't see them because they're not the top men in her eyes. They're not the ones. I wonder, is there a ring on her finger? Let's see if she puts her left hand up at any point in time. Yep, there. Oops. There it is right there. No ring on the finger. No band. No ring. I wish I could move this back and just, yep, there it is right there. No ring. Thank you. Where are you talking from? Now, I don't know how old she is, but this goes to prove my point. She either A, is a good woman, and the men she wants don't want her because they're out having fun and they can be with women that are more attractive than her, that are not as stuck up and snooty as her, and they're going out and having their fun. And those are the men she wants. But she's angry at them because they're able to go out and sleep with whoever they want. Or the guys that she wants or the guys that want her, she thinks are beneath her. And so she won't bother with them at all. Because if she really was a God-fearing good woman, I'm sure there's met plenty of men that would look at her and say, well, yeah, she got a couple extra pounds. Yep, she's probably a little bit older, maybe closing on 30 or slightly after 30. But you know something, if she treated me well and she's a good woman and cooks and wants to be, has a low body count and everything else, I'd make a wife out of that, sure, if we got along well. But see, it hasn't happened yet. Why? Same reason it always doesn't happen. Because either her standards are too high, or the men that she keeps sleeping with and trying to date and trying to have relationships with end up cheating on her and sleeping with other women. Why? Because they can. And this is the paradox that women have gotten themselves into. The men that want them now want them for fun. And these women want those men forever. The two will never meet. And men that would probably want her forever, she doesn't even know exist. And so she'll never see them, and those men will never have an opportunity. And so what does this mean? Same thing. Say it with me, guys. The top % of men get all the fun. The bottom % of men don't even exist until a woman's 35 with 2 kids from 2 different baby daddies, and it's time to settle down because she's getting tired of work. So good luck to you, ma'am. We'll see how long it takes you to get that ring. Lastly, I will leave it with this. This is on the Whatever podcast. And yes, they do bring on dim women. And yes, they make them look like fools, mostly by having intelligent conversations with them. And these ladies can't keep up. But this is a good example of what I'm going to talk about, or what I've been talking about. Now, I have to pause it because there's a little bit of music over this, and I don't want the YouTube thing to give me any trouble. But it's the same as always. This is not an unattractive. Now, remember, when I say not unattractive, you may look at her and go, dude, no, not interested. But when I call somebody unattractive, I mean that their dating up prospects aren't very good. This gal, she's going to have men ask her out. If she's got a bubbly, funny personality, there are dudes that are going to ask her out. Doesn't mean she likes them, but she does have opportunity. That means she's average. There's an average amount of men that would probably try to at least take her out once. Now, I'll boost the volume on this a little bit, and I may speed it up so that the YouTube algorithm doesn't recognize the music, and I can get away with this because I hate pausing constantly and everything like that. So I may speed it up. I may change the pitch. I'll do something so we can try to hear this all the way through. Listen to what she does.
I feel like sometimes I'm doing God's work. Like sometimes I'm like, damn, I really threw you a bone.
What do you mean?
I don't know. I've just been with like men of all shapes and sizes, and also sometimes I take pity on men, and so I am generous.
So she says she's with all men of all shapes and sizes, and I take pity on some men, and I'm generous. What does she mean? She means she's sleeping with guys that she's really not attracted to, and she pities them. Why does she do this? For attention? For daddy issues? For money? For something? And then according to this woman, the men that may not get any sex, that may not have a girlfriend, that may not have anybody paying attention to them, they're the bad guys because they took advantage of this girl because she was just being generous and giving it to men. Who's really the problem in that situation? And then when this gal, who looks very young, she looks very young 20s, when she ends up being 28, 30, 32, 35, and guys that say, and you know, she starts dating somebody, there's guys that would say, I wish I would have met you at 20 or 22, or dude, I wish I would have met her at 20 or 21. When she was 21, 22, maybe around this age, if she came forward and had a low body count and was nice and kind and whatever, there's so many men that would be like, why don't I find these women? But instead, they're giving it away for free to men they're not even attracted to. And you're going to say it's men's fault because she does this because she feels generous?
You fuck men because you pity them?
Just sometimes I feel bad.
Are your parents still together?
No.
Was there any childhood trauma?
Yes.
Okay. Checks out.
He turns towards the camera. He's like, checks out. This is the problem. No fathers in these women's lives. They need male attention. And this is what they do. But again, according to this lady, it's the guy's fault because she's got issues and she hasn't handled them. And what happens when she gets cornered like a little rabbit? She ends up calling the men misogynistic. A buzzword, something she heard in college. Now I'm going to have to, she's very quiet in this, so I'm going to have to ramp the music up. I may clip the living hell out of this, so the audio may be a little bit choppy, but I'll try to pull the music down and bring her voice up so you can hear it when I post-edit this. She calls them misogynistic, and all he says, and I'm going to play it, but I'm giving you the heads up, so if you say, what did they say, because it's very quiet, you'll know. She calls them misogynistic, and all he says is, what do you mean by that? How do you mean I'm misogynistic? And then she sits there for 45 seconds crying because she can't answer and then asks to leave. The whole reason I'm putting this clip in there is because this is what I feel like society's like today. Men are toxic. Men are awful. Men are the worst of the worst. Men need to take responsibility for all the men that do X, Y, Z. Men. And when men say, what do you mean by that? I don't have anything to do with the patriarchy. I don't have anything to do with wages or the economy or what other men do if they sleep with you and bounce on you. That's not on me. I am not the gatekeeper of all men. And here's the hint. Neither are all other men. Yep, there are bad dudes out there. It's not my job to gatekeep them. It's not my job to worry about what they're doing. It's your job to do that. Just like if my job is to try to tell you guys what to look out for. And if you say, well, I went out with this woman, we dated for 2 months, and I knew she had a bad past and a high body count, but we got married with no prenup, and you got destinied, she ends up bouncing and taking all your crap. What would my answer to you be? Well, duh. You know that was going to happen. So shouldn't her thing be like, women, you got to stop. These guys are going to do this. Nope. It's the men's fault, as always. So let's hear Miss Thing throw her poisonous words out to just, I don't know, she heard it in a college socioeconomics course or something or other, and tries to use that, I don't know, in some way, and just falls apart.
Okay, you guys are all just like really misogynistic.
How do you define misogyny? What? I'm just asking how you define misogyny.
Still nothing.
Can I go?
She's crying so hard, she has hiccups. And when I mean crying hard, like tears are streaming out of her eyes. She can barely breathe. And she says, can I go? This is why emotion can never beat logic. Because she's trying to use emotion. She's trying to escape the situation. She realizes, I don't have an answer. Like, what's the definition of misogynistic? And she's like, I got to go. I can't answer that. My buzzword just ran out of power. And you can see he's genuinely confused. He's like, look, what is going on? You can go, but I was just asking you. This is why women cannot rule the world, because their emotions get in the way and everything's going to fall apart.
Are you okay? Like, do you want to go as in leave?
Now, she just whispered, can I please go home?
If you want to leave, you can leave. I was hoping we could continue having a conversation, but okay. I mean,
well, bye. So she wants to call people misogynistic, and then what's the definition of that? What do you mean by that? That's it. That's the end of that. That's women's argument. Women are cheap and easy, and they keep sleeping with men, and men keep sleeping with the women. So men need to stop sleeping with the women. Okay, but you said women need to be accountable for their own actions. So really, it's up to the women to stop giving it away for free, right? No answer to that, because that requires accountability. You're going to call someone misogynistic? What's the definition? Why are you calling me that? Are you going to cry and leave? Why? No accountability. That's something that I think you're going to see a lot more of as things fall apart. As things fall apart and things come raining down, you're going to see all these places fall apart. You're going to see planes fall apart. You're literally going to see planes falling apart. And what's going to be the accountability? Emotion? Oh, you're just picking on me because I've got pink hair? Yeah, but the plane went down because you didn't put on some bolts tight. Now 137 people are dead. And you're going to say I'm calling you out because of your pink hair? See, that's not going to fly. That's why women are going to be in trouble. And I don't want women to be in trouble. I want women to straighten up. I want women to learn what men want and learn how men operate. And that we're not this big monolith. And that the guys that are sleeping with all the women are not the same guys that want women as wives and want to treat women well. Because the guys that are sleeping with women, they don't care if they have a high body count. They don't care where they were the week before. And they're not going to care where they're going to be next week. But the guys that want wives, they do care where they've been. They do care what they've done. And they know because of their past, they're not going to be with them in the future. This is simply where we are. It doesn't work. It all breaks down. Guys, if you're here on YouTube, don't forget, join us on betterbachelor.locals.com. We've got a WoW server. We got some guildies doing that. We've got a Valheim server, I think. Some people are looking at playing Classic WoW. Some are playing Turtle WoW. Other guys are playing other games. I've got a gilded server over there with tons of people on it. Guys just jump on and shoot the breeze in the middle of the day. We got the forums over there. I put videos over there with extra content like that I'm going to do here at the end of this one. It's a great community of guys. You can become a member for free if you want to check it out. And if you want to become a supporter, it's $5 a month. But you get to meet a whole ton of guys that are like-minded, that just hang out and want to have fun and communicate and be with other like-minded men. So I hope you come over and check it out. I'd appreciate it if you did.